Hello everyone, my name is Manisha Singh and welcome to the e-commerce guru entrepreneurial success story. So whether you are running a small or local business or building an international company, the benefit of business coaching cannot be overstated because an experienced mentor that you can rely on is one of the most valuable thing or resources available to the business owners. So today we will talk to the business coach who is very passionate about coaching people. So welcome to Sridhar Laxman. He is a founder and executive coach at Lucid Minds Coaching. He supported senior leaders, individuals and business owners in their businesses, and recently in India Mentors and Business Coaching Award, IMBC, he received Biggest Impact Award 2021. So first of all, welcome sir to the e-commerce guru entrepreneurial success stories,
Thank you so much, Manisha.
and congratulations for your Biggest Impact Award 2021. So how are you feeling?
Thank you. Well, it's always good to be recognized, and I'm glad that the industry is acknowledging coaches and other service providers. It's a wonderful feeling. Thank you.
Congratulations. So could you please tell us about your company and like what does your company do and what kind of services are you providing?
Sure, Manisha. I'll be happy to do that. So I'm the founder, like you introduced me. I'm the founder and executive coach at Lucid Minds Coaching, and I've been running this for over 11 years now. This is my 12th year, and in these 11 plus years, I have coached leaders across industries. These are from corporates, business owners, as well as individuals who reach out to me. I provide services in the space of coaching, whether it's executive coaching, whether it's business coaching, or any other form of coaching that the leader or the business owner feels is appropriate for them. And when I talk about coaching, these are typically programs that run anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on the needs of the client. Sometimes I do group programs. Most of my work is one-on-one coaching because senior leaders expect that quiet, open, safe space for them to express and to work with a coach one-on-one. So those are the programs, and that's the brief intro to Lucid Minds.
So in your early stages of your life or particularly your career, you may have explored a lot of things and may perceive the success, differently than now. So knowing what you know now and, there is anything you would have done differently and when you first starting your career, so when and how did you begin your business journey and how it changes your life?
Okay, wow. Those are all very powerful questions. I see 3 questions there, Manisha. Let me take them one at a time. One is about if I go back and if I was to start today, what would I do different? Second is about a bit about my life, right? So let me get started
About
with the
your
first question.
business journey and how it changes your life.
Certainly. So the power of hindsight, we all feel we can do better. Unfortunately, it always comes after we've lived through those experiences. So I'm quite happy with how things have turned out from the time I started to the time I'm here. It's been 11 plus years or 12 years now. I didn't think it would be possible. There was a dream in my heart and I followed it. And here I am continuing to serve my clients. If I was to go back and do something different, there would be a couple of things. One, I think I would probably ask for more support and help instead of trying to do things on my own. That would have made the journey easier. Even then, 12 years back, there were enough mentors and senior execs and senior people who had done what I was doing, and they could have supported me. So I think there is a big lesson there about, are we seeking sufficient help when we know we can make the path smoother and easier for ourselves? The second thing I would probably do is not be so caught up about wanting to achieve something by a certain time frame and give it a little time and space.
Right.
Some things take time. Corporate life prepares you for a certain structure, and I worked in the corporate sector for 20 years, so I was used to a certain structure. Things were in place. But when you start your own business entrepreneurship, you're starting from scratch.
Right. Still, after working in corporate sector, you feel like it started again, something from the scratch.
Except that I'm creating it all over from scratch, right? Whereas it was all set up, I would go to a physical office. The office was there. There was furniture in place. There was real estate that was taken care of. There was a cabin. There was a computer. There were people around to support you. There was network. Everything was being managed. When you start your own business, you're the creator. You got to start from scratch, from buying a computer to creating your email ID to managing your IT issues to your tax to everything. It's completely your view, and that is quite demanding initially, right? Particularly
Sometimes
people
it
who work
feels,
from corporate life.
yeah, sometimes it
It's
feels like you are building your own kingdom, placing the bricks and making, painting the walls and etc. things like this.
sure, another way to look at it. It's a beautiful metaphor of building your own palace or kingdom or castle, however you'd like to put it. Every brick that you put in has to be put in by you until you start seeking support, saying, "Hey, I'm not great at laying bricks. Let me get someone who's an expert. I can seek his or her support."
Yeah.
And that is probably one big learning that I could have sought more help initially. So yeah, those are a couple of things that come to mind, Manisha. Um, and third probably is I would have had more fun. Instead of working so hard in the initial years, the journey still would have been equally successful.
Right. So it feels so like after listening your journey, I feel so, motivated. It's like, okay, you have done a lot of thing in your journey and going so well. So yeah. So one thing I would like to know is that why did you become a business coach? Like, what is your inspiration behind it? Like, as you said that you are working in the like you are working in the corporate sector, you are living 20 years in the corporate sector. But after then, what is the inspiration you feel like that you want to become a business coach?
Sure. Sure. So Manisha, just one small correction there. I spent 20 years in the corporate world, and now I've been running my coaching practice for close to 12 years. Okay, so that's the what inspired me to start something like this is I think I'm an executive coach primarily. I also do business coaching. I'm a coach. I'm a certified coach. People who want executive coaching, I coach them on that space. People who want business coaching, I coach them on business. There are a couple of things that inspired me. One is, having worked for different companies, I was able to get a perspective from my inside out how companies work, how do people grow within organizations, what are the challenges that people face, my own challenges in growing through my career. All of these were teaching me something. And I reached the stage where I was questioning myself, saying, is this all there is to life? To wake up, go to work, come back, and have this level of stress and money being one motivator and maybe a promotion being another motivator. There must be
Right.
something larger, something more fulfilling that one can do. And
Right.
that led me to start reading a lot more. I started reading more books about mind and body, about how we grow ourselves, how do you develop certain skills, what helps you enhance your performance, what are the factors required for you to go from level 1 to level 2 to level 10. And a lot of answers started coming up, and it was very inspiring. Along the way, I read about the art and science of coaching, which was pretty dominant in the West, but not so relevant or rather so prevalent in India then. But it was interesting how people work with coaches and are able to grow themselves. And I found it interesting. I started reading more about it. This was around the year 2005 or so. It took me a couple of more years, then I engaged a coach for myself. I worked with a coach for about a year. It was a very hard journey because I had to learn to let go a lot of my preconceived notions, my own bias, my fears,
Right.
my
Right.
limiting beliefs, my ego, how I knew everything. All of that had to kind of be unlearned, and something new had to be created. By the end of that journey, I was in a different space. I had realized that there was so much more I was capable of doing, and how I was holding myself back. And I said, if a coach can do this to me, maybe I have the potential to do, support many, many, many people who may be going through something similar. And this
Right.
seems fulfilling. This seems meaningful to do. Took me a couple of years after that to muster up the courage to give up a corporate career because I was used to the good pay package, corporate perks, a good workplace, colleagues, very smart people working around me, very, very intelligent people working around me. So to give all that up and start on your own, on one hand seemed foolhardy. On the other side, it seemed incredibly wonderful to try something my hand at. So I started off in 2011, and 12 years have gone by, or 11 plus years have gone by.
And
So I
still
hope that gives
going,
you some perspective.
still going. It's like mind-blowing journey.
Well, it has been a good journey. I'm very fulfilled. I'm happy what I do. I've been blessed with good set of clients. I feel very grateful that things have turned out well. I remember some colleagues telling me when I moved out saying it's too late for you to be an entrepreneur now. Maybe that was the age bias speaking for people. I look back and say it's never too late to start as long as you're willing to put in the work. Right? Just following your heart is not good advice. It requires you to have a plan. It requires you to do the hard work.
Make the
It requires you to
strategies.
build
Right.
exactly and a lot of resilience because there are ups and downs in running your own business.
Definitely.
In a corporate structure, for example, you're used to a monthly pay package, a salary that comes on certain day of the month, every month for years and years and years. That's not how business runs. There are months when the revenues are higher, months when there are no revenues, there are months when the revenues are low. You just have to learn to look at it more holistically.
Sometimes
Am I
it
doing
feels
what I
like a
love to
roller
do?
coaster.
That's a good analogy. It is indeed like a roller coaster.
Oh, one thing when you were answering your this questions, one thing you mentioned about the books. So, what type of books you usually read? Like, you can tell me about one book which changes your, which impact on your life.
Well, I used to read a lot of fiction earlier, moved on to non-fiction sometime in the year 2000. So for the past 22 years, I've been reading only non-fiction. I'm open to all forms of books, whether it is autobiographies, biographies, whether it is about case studies of certain companies, leadership, people management, neuroscience, psychology, um, people about, let's say, team management, about psychological safety as a concept, culture, the workplace, culture of the place, values, belief systems. I also read a lot of books on Buddhist philosophy of mind and body and the connection, how we
So it's
manifest
very
our own
nice.
ways to live. So one thing has led to the other. Once you start reading certain books, it leads you
Definitely.
something else, and it
You
continues. It's a
discover
lifelong
something,
journey.
something more, and you wanting more after reading one book. You feel like, wow,
Yeah, yeah. I've always had a passion for reading. So I'm fortunate that way. It became easier for me to continue. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a
I can
bookshelf on my
see
right. It's
behind so
my
many books are there in your Almira, I guess.
yeah. I do keep buying. I think a large part of what I earn goes into buying books. So I continue to learn and grow as for myself, my own curiosity, and I think in a manner of speaking, Manisha, it helps me serve my clients better because there are incredible people around the world from whom I can learn.
Right.
People who are younger to me, who are people who are my age or older, it doesn't matter, the age is not, but they have incredible wisdom. And if they're sharing that wisdom, I'm fortunate enough that I have that wisdom available and I can
True.
absorb that from books and then use that to serve other clients.
True, true. It's great. So, what are the types and what are the types of programs you usually offer to the clients or to the people, and how it is beneficial for the aspiring entrepreneurs or young businessmen?
Sure. Okay, so the programs I offer, like I said, I can classify it into two. One is one-on-one coaching, which is, let's say, you and I, if we were speaking as coach and a client, it's just the two of us in the session.
Okay.
Whatever you'd like to work on as a client, I would support you on that today. If they're the other way to coach people is in groups. So groups of 6 to 8 people or 10 people or 12 people, right? And there is an agenda for the group, and we work towards that particular agenda or objective. So those are two forms of coaching that I offer, whether it's a leader in a corporate or it's a business owner.
Okay.
The principles are the same. Principles of coaching are the same. The topic will differ depending on who's being coached and what is important to them.
Whether he is a
It's always about the
businessman or
client.
a corporate.
No, he or she could be a business owner, they could be a business leader, they could be a corporate exec, it doesn't matter. The principles are the same. And these are proven principles, tested, researched, known to work over and over and over again, right? So those are the two programs that I offer. And typically these are 6 to 8 months or 1 year. If it's a one-on-one program, the group programs are slightly shorter. There's a 3 to 4 months in duration, more focused on immediate requirements that the business owner may have in managing what they want to do to grow their business. So those are the programs I offer currently. I'm so sorry. Could you repeat the second part of your question?
Yeah, and how it is beneficial for the young businessmen or the aspiring entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So if we look at aspiring entrepreneurs, again, if I may classify them into two, there is a growing category of what we call solopreneurs, one-person company.
Right.
A man or a woman starting their own company initially,
Right.
and they're running it on their own.
Right.
And then there are organizations with 10 employees, 20 employees, 50 employees, small firms being run by a business owner. So if you look at the solopreneur, there are certain challenges that he or she will face when they start their entrepreneurship. One is the sheer number of things that he or she has to do on their own to get the business started, right? So time is a constraint. So one area that a lot of solopreneurs work with me on how they manage their time better. Second part is about their own fears that may hold them back from doing everything they're capable of doing. What if I fail here? What if I don't make this happen? What if I burn through my cash? So there's a lot of what-if scenarios that goes on that solopreneurs keep discussing and worrying about. And the idea is to move them from that space of worry and anxiety to having clarity. What is the purpose that you've got started on? Where do you want to go? Where are you today? Where would you like to go? How do you know you're getting there? So we get
what are
down
the
to
hurdles
specific.
you are facing, maybe?
When you look at people who are running firms or have started firms with employees, 10, 12, 20, 50, whatever number of employees, a couple of other challenges come up. One is about clearly leadership, right? I've got these 10, 20 people to manage. How do I lead them? How do I bring out the best in them? And for most business owners, initially when they start, the focus is on how do I make this person perform better? And I bring it back to the leader saying, who do you need to be in order for them to bring out their best for your firm? Because you're going to inspire them. They're going to role model you as a leader. So if you focus on transforming yourself, it becomes easier to help others transform themselves.
Other people. You need to focus. You need to first focus on yourself. Okay.
Absolutely. Time, people management, conflict, decision making, communication. There are so many factors that come into play. And then there is the business planning itself. For a lot of entrepreneurs, it's a lot of hoping that something will work. Hope is not a strategy. We have to have a clear plan. We need to have very specific milestones. What is the budget on hand? What are the goals? What is the market size? How do you know you're going to succeed here? What data supports you? The intuition is lesser, data is supporting initially. As you grow more and more experience in that space, your intuition can start to play a bigger role. So those are the kind of things that I work with entrepreneurs on. And yeah, right.
That's very nice and grateful to hear from you. So, when you started your journey, what are the problems you faced in your initial days, and how you overcome from it?
Sure. So I was a solopreneur too when I started. I was running everything on my own. There were 2 or 3 things that stand out for me. One is having worked in a corporate sector for 20 years with colleagues, managers, reportees, cross-functional teams and all that. To start off on my own, there was an incredible sense of loneliness for the first few months, right? You miss not seeing people around you.
Yeah.
And over a period
Those
of time, that turns into solitude.
those people. Yeah, right.
All the meetings, all the brainstorming, all the creativity that exists in an organization, suddenly you're in a vacuum, right? So that can be a big change. So I think it's important for the entrepreneur to support himself or herself in how do you get that stimulation when you moved out of a corporate space. The second is, I'm repeating this, but trying to do things on your own. It can be a very big challenge. I had that as a challenge, and suddenly you can get overwhelmed. There's so many things to do, things are not moving, and suddenly you feel, hey, did I make a mistake in taking this up? I was probably safer to stay in the corporate world. So doubts start creeping. The third is you've got to be very clear on managing your budgets. Because when you're starting off, you don't have too many clients, you don't have revenue, you don't have profitability, but you have costs.
Right.
So you have to manage your costs well, whether you're buying a computer, your phone, an internet connection, you're paying for an office, you're paying for, let's say, lunch meetings with prospects or coffee or whatever. Everything is an expense. And until that revenue starts coming in from clients, you're continuing to spend from your budget. So you have to be mindful of that,
Right.
right? So those are three, four things that come. Fourth, I think, is being clear about the plan. I don't think I was absolutely clear when I started. Most people are not, because a lot of it is driven by heart and less by the head. But along the way, you figure out saying, hey, I have to be pragmatic and practical. What is a good goal to go after? What is a stretch goal? And what is a
Right.
dream goal? Right?
Right.
That way, you're able to hit smaller milestones and keep hitting those smaller milestones. Eventually, look back and realize you hit a series of smaller milestones which led to the larger milestone.
Right. You're
So,
facing those things, what, nowadays people are actually facing it. These types of problems, young entrepreneurs actually facing it. कि हाँ जब वो start करते हैं, they are facing sometimes like they are not clear about the plans, they are not clear about what to do next. Sometimes they feel so lonely. So how you overcome from it, from all these hurdles?
yeah, I think unlike earlier, now probably that the social media plays a larger role. There are a lot more groups. There are a lot more support groups in place. There are groups of entrepreneurs. There are groups of business owners in physical as well as virtual space. So people could reach out and connect with others, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, any other social platform, Facebook,
Right.
Instagram, etc. The second, I think, is about actively making time for life outside of work. If I look back, the fact that I would work out regularly, I would meditate regularly, I would listen to music which I love to do, I would read, I would make time for life beyond work. And all of that actually helped me be more creative. It helped me kind of manage my stress better.
Become more
So that's,
relaxed after having so much stress whole day.
and then if you have a friend circle or group, reach out. It's okay to be vulnerable. Tell them that, I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. And the moment we say, I don't know what to do, we are opening up to new ideas. As long as we keep
Right.
thinking that I know, I've got it all figured out, I'm closed. And I'm not going to be getting some new ideas. The moment I acknowledge and say, I don't know everything, I need help, it's okay to ask help. It's not a sign of weakness. I know things will get better because I'm putting in the efforts. It'll take a bit of time, but it will get better. And if it doesn't get better, that's a signal that I'm not doing something well. I need to get better. Right? So that's the second thing they could do. Third, I feel is reaching out, and I don't mean to promote only my service, but whether it's a mentorship, there could be a mentor who could help the entrepreneur. There could be a coach, counselor, a therapist, whatever service is appropriate for the entrepreneur to manage that stress at that point is very healthy, because the earlier they do it, the faster will be their growth. And I give the metaphor of a rocket that is, let's say, moving from Earth to Moon. It has to escape the Earth's gravity in order to go into space, and from there the journey becomes easier. Right? The hurdle is escaping Earth's gravity, and this is something like that.
Right.
It requires a lot of booster dose. It requires a lot of effort initially to get the business off the ground, and then you can continue to create momentum.
Right. So that's very, I think, very motivating that how you overcome from all your challenges, and the tips you are giving to all the young entrepreneurs is like mind blowing, I think. So, what is your great advice to all the young entrepreneurs?
Manisha, I must admit this as a coach, as a certified coach. I've gone through formal coaching education for many years now. The principles of coaching, one of the first principles of coaching is to stay away from giving advice. Our work is to help clients find the answers they're looking for rather than telling them what they must do. For the simple reason that when I tell you what to do, I'm interfering with your thinking. If I help you find what you're looking for, I'm supporting you in getting the answers you're looking for. Right? So I think it's important to reflect. Entrepreneurs could benefit by sitting down and reflecting, starting with what is the purpose? Why am I getting started in this business? What do I wish to achieve? What would make this helpful? What would be a success factor here? What would I define as success? What does success look like? Is it certain crores of business? Is it certain number of clients? Is it certain geographies where I want to be present? Is it a certain brand name, certain fame? What is it that I'm after? So that's one dimension. The second would be to maybe explore saying, how do I know I'm getting there, right? What are the milestones along the way? Third, who can support me? What resources do I need? Do I need a finance consultant? Do I need an expert in the logistics space? Do I need a marketing person? Do I need a business coach? Do I need a, let's say, somebody in supply chain? What is required for me to get from point A to point B? And
Right.
third
So
is,
as a young
who
entrepreneur,
I
we
need to
have to.
become. So,
Sorry, please continue.
yeah, the third point I just wanted to close with that is, who do I need to become as an entrepreneur in order to get to that level of success? Because my evolution determines the speed at which my business will grow. If I
Right.
continue to be the person I was before I started my business, I may not be able to grow it. But if I transform myself from within, I let go of my fears, I become much more clear, I have direction, I have motivation, I have energy, I have, let's say, the right values, then I'm building something which is sustainable. Yeah, please
Right.
go ahead.
So, according to you, we have, as a young entrepreneur or as a young businessman, we have to work on ourselves rather than, like, first we have to work on ourselves. We have to ask some questions to us, like, what do I want to do? This thing is going well, and all type of questions you just mentioned. Then we have to start our working on our plan, our business plan, right?
Yes. So the reason I say that is in these 11 plus or 12 years that I've been working with clients, a lot of our obstacles are self-created. That is my observation. Most clients have self-created obstacles. When those self-created obstacles are reduced or eliminated, their natural brilliance comes up and they're able to get very, very far in their lives. So the work really starts with learning to manage that interference, reducing that interference, eliminating that interference. What is this interference? It comes in the form of fears, limiting beliefs, preconceived notions, bias, assumptions, right? All of that is running and it's kind of stopping us from being all we can be. When we manage that first, we get clear. Clarity has immense power, Anisha.
Right.
When we have clarity, we not then focus on action. In the absence of clarity, we're just running around everywhere, trying
True.
something and hoping something works.
True.
So
True.
that's
True.
the reason I would continue to support people saying, start with yourself, work on yourself, then work on your business because then you're in a better state to grow it and to get to success quickly.
True, true, very true. So, do you think it is important for young people who have just started their career is to join the various programs, like the type of programs you are offering, or types of program anyone who is offering to be successful? So, and how does it help them basically? What is your comment on that? This.
Well, coaching, going through a coaching journey is not easy. Okay, it's a lot of hard work because it requires you to get past your comfort zone and participate with the coach. And the coach is not your friend. The coach is not going to tell you what to do. The coach is not there to make you feel nice. A true coach or a committed coach will show you the mirror. You may not like what you see in the mirror, but it's the role of the coach to show you things as they are so that you say, okay, I acknowledge these are things I'm doing very well. This is where I'm struggling. I need support. Let me work on it. Second, it requires effort. There's no magic pill. There's no wishing, hoping, attracting. You have to put the hard work. You have to learn to change behavior, skills. You have to learn to manage how you show up, right? And all of these are, over the years, we made them habitual. So the more times we've repeated certain habits, the stronger those have become, whether they're good or not so good habits. So to let go of certain habits which are not serving me and to adapt new ones requires a lot of effort. So it's not an easy journey. But when you get into the journey, it has transformational effects if you're able to sustain and go through the journey. So should an entrepreneur start with a coach as soon as they begin the business? Maybe, maybe not. They're the best judges for this, right? There's no recommendations. I have this philosophy and I've always followed it, Manisha, that coaching cannot be sold.
Right.
My role as a coach is to show up and say, hey, this is what I do, and make people aware. When the need for coaching arises in that person, he or she will reach out. There is no influencing them to buy into my service. There is no selling them, no convincing them. If I'm trying to convince, then my services are not needed by them. When the need arises, I should be there to provide the service. In fact, uh, there are many times when I tell my clients, I'm not the coach for you. Maybe you don't need coaching, you need some other service, because I have to do what is right by them, including telling them don't hire me. Because this
Right.
is somebody's life, it's their career, it's their business, it's their money. You have to show them the mirror and let them make their choices. The more choices they make, the better they get at it.
Right,
Otherwise, they
right,
become dependent on the coach, which is not healthy for them,
right,
because the coach is not going to be forever, right?
right, right, right.
It's a certain period of time. So the idea is to make them self-reliant, self-independent, make them more responsible for their own well-being. And that starts with the first decision. Do I need a coach? Am I ready to go through the coaching journey? Do I have the courage to go through? Am I willing to put the work that is required, knowing that there's no magic pill? The coach is not going to fix my problems. Coaching is not about fixing problems. The coach is there to support me. He's my thinking partner. He or she will help me become better at making choices. Am I willing to go through the journey? I think that is where how I would paint it. I hope that gives you some perspective.
Right. Definitely. So, according to you, people who are just starting their business, what are the skills one needed to become successful?
Well, there are three things that I would expect people to reflect on. One, time is a very valuable currency. It's the most valuable
Right.
currency we have in our lives.
Definitely.
How do I manage my time? Am I spending my time on my most valuable priorities and most valuable tasks? Or am I frittering it away on tiny little things that demand my attention? If I'm spending 4 hours on social media, commenting and writing, and spending, let's say, 15 minutes on business development, uh, maybe I'm not going to get the business I'm seeking.
Definitely.
How I use my time determines what quality of clients I attract and the revenues I generate. Second is my energy, mental, physical, emotional energy. Is it all aligned in a manner where clients feel comfortable interacting with me and buying into my service, whether it's coaching, whether it's I'm selling iron ore, whether I'm selling hospitality, whatever be my product or service. Does the client resonate with me as a business? Are my values consistent? Am I saying one thing and doing another? All of this matters to the client, right? Because they're parting with their
Definitely.
valuable
It
money.
really
They
matters, right?
expect good quality of stuff.
Hmm.
The third would be to look at the money that we have. As entrepreneurs, when we start, we have small budgets. So we have to be judicious and prudent in how we're going to spend it. Do I need to run full page ads when I start my business? Maybe not. Do I need to get quick revenue? Yes. Based on that, maybe I could build. Do I need to run ads because everybody's running ads? Maybe not. Should I spend money on SEO? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what your objectives are, right? So get
What are
clear on that
services
and then
and
align.
yes, yes, definitely.
Time, money, and energy. If the entrepreneur can learn to manage these three very well at the start, he or she will continue to grow on that. Otherwise, what happens is that we will burn through these things very quickly and feel frustrated that, hey, I'm running short. I don't have time. I feel tired and I don't have the budgets. And I make poor decisions out. Right?
Right, right, right. Time, energy, and money. We have to manage all these things. And then,
They're
right.
valuable resources.
They are very, very, very. So, one last question. What message do you want to convey to someone who has just started their business?
Well, what message would I?
According to your experience,
Most,
according to your thoughts, according to your ideas?
sure. First and foremost, I think welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. It's exciting. It's hard work, but it's extremely rewarding too in the long run. You're the master or mistress of your domain, and you have complete control on your life to the degree that you would like to exercise that control. And there's a lot of freedom, there's a lot of independence. Those are the positive things about being entrepreneurship. The message would be uh, focus on getting clarity. Let your first goal be how do I get clear? Where do I need to get clear? And until you have clarity, try and manage your budgets and your time and energy better, which means don't spend money, time, and energy unless you have a clear plan.
Right. Clarity is always matter.
Clarity is very important, right? Because if you have clarity, then every choice you make from that space is serving you. There's no good or bad. It's about what is serving you, what's not serving you, right? So if I choose to do certain things based out of clarity, my probability of success is higher.
Right. So thank you so much for joining the session and discussion today. And we are very grateful for your time and efforts you took to share your journey, your ideas, your experience, and of course your tip, time, energy, and money, which is the most important thing. And talking with you is very motivating for me, and personally really motivating for me and wonderful. And I hope everyone who is watching this session will learn this and will learn from your words. So thank you so much again for joining the session. I really enjoyed the session. I hope you enjoyed the session as well.
Well, thank you so much, Manisha. I did enjoy our conversation, and I hope it's helpful to your viewers. I'm happy to hear back from them if they'd like to write to me, and I'm happy to clarify anything that they would like to know about the conversation we had today. The idea is to share knowledge in a manner where people are starting off today could
Right.
start right and make use of that journey, so their probability of success, their ability to succeed quickly goes up. That was the intent. I'm glad. Thank you so much for having me here. Absolute pleasure, and my best wishes to you, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.